In today's episode, I'm going to share with you a little trick that can save you countless hours on your future developments. With this little advice, your software provider or your development team will be able to readapt and develop new features way more faster than usual. Hi, I'm Amaury, founder and CEO at MyCTOFriend, where founders come to learn how to build their tech startup. With this Startup Snacks series available on both podcast and YouTube, I want to share with you the essential to make it easier for you to build your tech startup. One of the startups I've coached recently could have saved at least 10 grand. If they would have just followed that advice last year. So listen until the end, and I know my explanation might feel a bit technical, but honestly, you don't need any technical background to just ask your developer to apply this advice properly. However, you need to ensure that your developer or your provider or your technical team is going to build things the right way to save you tons of time on your future developments. So to explain this trick, I'm going to share what happened to a startup I coached recently. It's a legal tech startup. And like many legal tech startups, they depend on new laws and overall disruption on their market. And recently, because of a new law, they had to pivot. Basically, the same software they've been using so far have to be readapted to be used by other type of users in their market, on the market. So same market, but different niche. This happened a lot in startup worlds. I mean, we have planned, things change, we adapt our positioning, and most of the time the adapted version is much better fit for the market compared to the initial idea. And recently, this startup asked for some changes, small changes to their provider. And they were surprised to discover that they needed to reinvest about 30% of the overall development budget just to change few names and readapt a bit the workflow. So we might wonder why. Why, if we change like 5 to 10% of the overall project, it might cost 30% of the initial investment? It's basically because it has been developed the wrong way. So to help you understand, let's compare this to a basic tool, which is Word document. If I create a Word document and then I want to customize fonts and title, with of course different fonts for each type of title. If I don't really use Word properly, I might need to edit each title and each subtitle one at a time. And that's going to be exactly the same with software development. But it's not only just few titles. With software development, we talk about countless of files and hundreds of lines and thousands and thousands of lines, So it's going to be really time consuming for your developer just to change a little thing. But on the other hand, if I use properly Word and if I use references where I explain to Word, this is a title, this is a subtitle. And if I update all my subtitles accordingly, and then I say, now my subtitle, the first one as example, I want it to look exactly that way. And then after, I can explain to Word, and I want all the subtitles to look exactly the same. And that works exactly the same way for any type of software. And not only in terms of design, When a developer starts a new project, his or her first step is to understand who are the users, how they are going to use the application, and to understand the workflow, right? And the easiest way to code an application is just to create the expected logic, the expected workflow. We have a certain type of users who can do something, then we code that logic. We have another type of users, then we create the other type of users, and then we create the logic for the other type of users, etc. But if one day we want to change the behavior of our software or add another type of user with similar rules, then we might need to replicate what we already did for the first one and readapt the entire software, because the entire software will have its own logic. Basically, we will need to recode that new logic. And that's how changing a little thing can cost up to 30 to 50% of the overall software. And that's also what we can call legacy in software development. So how, as a non-technical founder, you can influence your developer, your provider, to develop things the right way. First, ask him to create a software that is configurable. You might have today defined a specific type of users, a specific logic, right? But later you will want to change that logic. So technically, all the users should be considered the same way in your database, in the table that is in your software. All the users are the same. We just flag them based on the type of user they are. Secondly, ask your developer to be sure to define the workflow in a configurable manner, having a configuration file in the software that is easy to edit, something like just, a file that we can configure. And third, the status of your logic also need to be configurable. Like, for example, if your platform allows someone to sell or to rent a product, then the first status might be on sale or sold or expedited as example. But maybe you will need other status later, like draft or in preparation or refund, right? So the workflow and the status will change and evolve over time. So they have to be configurable. If you want to save painful and expensive developments, you need to have them configurable. And this little request might look obvious for you, maybe for us, because now I explained it, but it is not for most of developers. So in conclusion, the first reflex of any developer is to jump head first in coding the logic you expect. But that's not the best way to get started. It's the best way to get locked in the original logic. And it will be very hard for your technical team to add any changes later on. Instead, ask your developers to make as many things configurables in your software. This will allow you to readapt your software very easily with small budget. And it can also enable you to resell your software for other usage. If you enjoy learning with us and want to see more, just consider subscribing. Help us spread the word by hitting the like button and by sharing with your entrepreneur friends. And if you have any question or want to suggest a topic, feel free to comment down below. And you can also check out our website to learn more about our program and how you can join. See you.